This is You've Already Been Hacked, recorded on 28 November 2020. This week, I just want to say happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Hope you had a great one, hope you were safe, and hope you had way too much tryptophan. Starting off, we're going to cover a little bit of a follow-up from a story we covered last week. The ransomware attack against Manage.com has affected local-level governments. The attack against hosting provider Manage.com has affected local governments in the United States. The company took down its web hosting services after becoming aware of the attack sometime last week. The attack has rendered some Manage.com client websites unavailable. The affected organizations include some local-level governments in Indiana, North Carolina, and Oregon. The website of the Arizona Judicial Branch has also been affected. Moving on. Google has finally started its plans to add end-to-end encryption to its Android messaging app. Google has begun rolling out end-to-end encryption for its rich communication service, the text messaging standard the industry giant has been pushing as an alternative to SMS. Abbreviated as RCS, Rich Communication Service provides a similar service to other internet-based messaging systems. Typing indicators, presence information, local sharing, longer messages, and better media support are part of the key quote-unquote selling points. They lead to things like better quality photos and videos, chat over Wi-Fi, knowing when a message is read, sharing reactions, and better capabilities for chat groups. End-to-end encryption is the antidote to snooping. It uses strong encryption to cryptographically secure messages with a key that is unique to each user. Because the key is in the sole possession of each user, end-to-end encryption prevents everyone else, including the app maker, an ISP, or carrier, and potentially some three-letter agencies, from reading the message. Messaging apps that currently provide end-to-end encryption include Signal, WhatsApp, and iMessage, just to name some of the top competitors. Now, RCS is nothing new. Google has been pushing it for quite some time. They're finally starting to implement end-to-end in it. Okay, that's great. They are a little behind the power curve compared to those other competitors that are already out there doing all of those other wonderful things. There has been a criminal finance conference on cryptocurrency. After Doha, Basel, and The Hague, the fourth edition of the Global Conference on Criminal Finances and Cryptocurrencies took place on the 18th and 19th of November. Interpol hosted this year's conference, which gathered over 2,000 participants from law enforcement and judicial authorities, as well as financial intelligence units and international organizations, as well as the private sector. Trends and investigations in the crime involving cryptocurrency, trends and evolution of the dark markets and use of cryptocurrencies in ransomware attacks, as well as anti-money laundering, global compliance efforts, and detecting money laundering activities in cryptocurrency flows were among the topics discussed during the first day of the conference. On the second day, which was restricted for representatives from national authorities, experts presented recent case examples to exchange knowledge and best practices on investigations related to cryptocurrency facilitated crime and subsequent money laundering activities. The conference is an initiative of the Tri-Party Working Group on Cryptocurrencies and Criminal Finances established in 2016 by Europol, Interpol, and the Basel Institute on Governance to build a platform for the exchange of knowledge and expertise between cybercrime experts and financial investigators. The cooperation and knowledge sharing between national law enforcement authorities supported by the private sector has certainly increased the effectiveness of investigations on cryptocurrency-facilitated crime. Experts have concluded, however, that further information exchange will increase the success rates of their investigations. No shocker there. The conference led to key recommendations on how to solidify a strong response to this criminal threat. In another story related to cryptocurrency, GoDaddy employees have been tricked into changing DNS settings. A recent social engineering vishing attack on domain register GoDaddy temporarily handed over control of cryptocurrency services sites NiceHash and Liquid to fraudsters, exposing personal information of their users. For those that don't know, vishing is a phishing scam that uses voice interactions over the phone to gain trust with victims and fool them into handing over their credentials. Both sites, as well as GoDaddy itself, have since recovered from the compromise. This all took place on the 13th of November, and GoDaddy manages one of the core domains incorrectly transferred control of the account and domain to a malicious actor, according to Liquid. This gave the actor the ability to change DNS records and in turn take control of a number of internet email accounts. In due course, the malicious actor was able to partially compromise their infrastructure and gain access to document storage. The statement went on to explain Liquid was able to regain control of the domain and confirm that all of its clients' funds were still accounted for. However, the company said the malicious actor was able to access customer emails, names, addresses, and encrypted passwords. Similarly, NiceHash announced that during the early hours of November 18th, its site went down because, quote, domain register GoDaddy had technical issues, and as a result of unauthorized access to domain settings, the DNS records for nicehash.com's domain were changed. Unlike Liquid, NiceHash said that it does not appear any customer data was compromised and suggested all users enable two-factor authentication to boost security protections. GoDaddy spokesman Dan Race confirmed the breach in an email statement to threatpost.com. Quote, a routine audit of account activity identified potential unauthorized changes to a small number of customer domains and or account information, unquote. The statement continued, our security team investigated and confirmed threat actor activity, including social engineering of a limited number of GoDaddy employees. So the parable of this story for everybody is everyone, literally everyone, is susceptible to social engineering. Even the employees at IT firms and those that are on the internet are still able to be fooled. So be careful with who you are sharing your information with. Moving on. Tesla's Bluetooth vulnerability could be exploited to steal the Model X. Researchers at the University of Leuven in Belgium found vulnerabilities in the keyless entry system for the Tesla Model X that would have allowed attackers to steal the car worth $100,000 in just a few minutes. The security bugs allowed taking full control of the key fob and of the car by remotely updating the Tesla Model X's Bluetooth low-energy chip, specifically crafted firmware. Once the key fob was compromised, the researchers were able to capture valid unlock messages, which allowed them to unlock the car at any time. To successfully exploit the flaws, attackers would need to get close to the targeted car, approximately under 5 meters, use a modified electronic control unit to wake up the key fob, deliver the firmware update to gain full control, and that was from about 30 meters, and then unlock the car. The researchers' proof-of-concept attack used a device built with low-priced equipment, including a Raspberry Pi with a CAN shield, a modified key fob, an ECU from a salvage vehicle, and a lithium polymer battery. We're talking here, folks, about $200 worth of electronics. The Belgian researchers reported the security issue to Tesla in August of 2020, and the company is now rolling out over-the-air firmware updates to address the issues affecting the SUV's key fob. The same researchers have also found flaws in the Tesla Model S key fob and passive keyless entry and start system. The university researchers also provided a demonstration video showing the entire process and the tools they needed to take full control of the Model X. The company's Tesla Model 3 car's Chromium-based infotainment system was hacked during last year's Pwn2Own competition, and 2 years ago, Tesla also amended its responsible disclosure guidelines with clarifications, welcoming researchers to register to carry out security tests probing the company's cars for bugs as part of the official vulnerability reporting program. So, This is scary, but the right people are looking into it to help secure things and make them better. Take what you will from that silver lining. Brazil's Superior Electoral Court system has finally recovered from a ransomware attack. After suffering the most severe cyber attack ever orchestrated against the Brazilian public sector institution, the Superior Electoral Court, or STJ in the Portuguese acronym, the court has managed to get its systems back up and running after more than 2 weeks of disruptions. The ransomware attack took place on November 3rd, and STJ's systems were totally unavailable for 26 hours, so the federal police could gather evidence. The investigation process, which also involves the Federal Data Processing Service, SERPRO, the Army's Cyber Defense Unit, is still ongoing. The court then had to operate with limited functionality for urgent cases until the systems were fully reestablished on the 20th of November. According to the president of the STJ, Minister Henrique Martins, the event was, quote, the worst ever, unquote, cyber attack the Brazilian government body has suffered, both in terms of the dimension and complexity involved. Recovery efforts for STJ took 50 IT personnel internally, as well as 8 other technology firms, including Atos, Microsoft, Red Belt Security, among those that were involved. However, the STJ minister pointed out that there are challenges that still need to be overcome, including the revision of policies, technology architecture, and the adaptation to the General Data Protection Regulations, which went live in September. The minister's statement went on to conclude with, there is unconditional support from STJ's management to raise the level of information security that we offer. This is an institutional asset, which we will not give up. Moving on to the other side of the globe, South Korean retailer Eland has suffered a ransomware attack. The South Korean conglomerate and retail giant Eland has suffered a ransomware attack, causing 23 of its retail stores to suspend operations while they deal with the attack. Eland owns 60 retail brands, primarily focusing on apparel, sold through 5,000 franchise retail stores. In addition, Eland owns and operates hotels and restaurants in South Korea. According to South Korean media, Eland suffered a ransomware attack over this past weekend, causing the temporary shutdown of 23 of its 50 NC department store and Nucor outlet retail stores. The CEO of Sealand Retail confirmed the cyber attack on the 23rd of November and stated that ransomware was deployed at the Eland headquarters on the morning of the 22nd. To prevent the spread of the ransomware attack, Eland shut down a portion of their IT systems, which has impacted their retail operations. The CEO went on to state that customer and other sensitive data is encrypted on a separate server and is safe. Depending on the type of ransomware that was used in the operation, though, it's possible that unencrypted files and data were stolen. However, at this time, no ransomware operation has claimed responsibility for the attack. And finally, Manchester United has suffered a cyber attack disrupting their IT systems. European football club Manchester United disclosed on Friday a cybersecurity incident that impacted its internal systems. The football club said it is still investigating the incident and couldn't say if the breach allowed the intruders to access data associated with fans or store customers. While the club remained tight-lipped about what hackers managed to access, they said the incident didn't impact its primary media channels, such as its websites and mobile apps. In a statement, quote, all critical systems required for matches to take place at Old Trafford remain secure and operational, and tomorrow's game against West Bromwich Albion will go ahead. Club officials went on to state in a press release issued late Friday night, United officials said they detected and took swift action to contain the attack, which minimized its impact. The club says it's now working with security experts to investigate the incident and minimize their IT disruption. Manchester police were also notified about the incident. Manchester United is the second major club to disclose a security breach. In July of 2018, hackers accessed FC Liverpool's IT network and collected data about the club's fans. But Man U and Liverpool aren't alone. Other UK football clubs were also targeted by spear phishing attacks and BEC scammers looking to hijack club payments, according to a report published by the UK National Cyber Security Centre this past July. That's all for the news this week. I'm your professor of cyber risk. We'll talk again soon.